What's up, everybody? It's MC Lyfe with special guest.
What's up, Lorenz The Monsoon Larkin?
What's going on, brother?
Shit.
Man, last time I see you, like it was at Pachanga, right? When you Korshkov?
Yeah, was that the last?
Yeah, because I think that was the last time I seen you.
No, it was Decision.
Oh, it was Decision. Man, how you been since then?
Good, man. Just the same old same, just training and just getting these fights out of the way.
Yeah, so you have a fight coming up, correct?
Yeah, June 28th.
And where is it at, if you don't mind me asking?
South Dakota.
South Dakota?
Yeah, Sioux Falls.
Okay, you're going to be out there. Is it a reservation or is it just...
I couldn't even tell you. No, it's not a casino. I know it's called the Pentagon Arena, but I don't know anything about other than Mount Rushmore. That's about it. So
I think I worked in North Dakota on the oil rigs before.
Oh, okay.
The weather's weird. It'll rain, snow, tornado, all in one day. So be prepared. Yeah, be prepared. But you're in South Dakota, so I never went to South Dakota. I was in North Dakota, Williston, I think. So you're in, if I'm correct, PFL now, right?
So my contract's still with Bellator.
Okay.
But they just threw me on a PFL card.
Okay. So you're still contracted with Bellator?
Yeah, I'm still under Bellator, but they just have me on a PFL card.
Is Bellator still an organization, or are they in a transition, if you don't mind me asking?
They're still a separate organization, but the umbrella is PFL.
Okay.
So they're still running it as two different organizations. For at least now.
For now.
I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but for right now, they're still having Bellator shows and PFL shows.
Okay, because everybody's all talking about, like, Bellator's gone, Bellator. I'm like, dude, there's still shows and there's still fights coming up.
Yeah. There's actually, next Saturday, they have a show in Dublin.
Okay.
Yeah, Bellator.
Ireland, right? Or Dublin?
Ireland, yeah.
Okay, for sure. Have you ever been to Dublin?
Yeah.
It's green out there.
Real green. They drink a lot.
When I went to France last year, I had a layover in Dublin, and they had the Jameson booth.
Oh, yeah.
They got me. They got me. I bought a bunch of Jameson.
Oh, yeah.
It was good. And you recently went to Thailand, correct?
Yeah.
How was Thailand? Did you train out there? Were you on vacation?
No, I just went out there for a month to go train, and it was good. It was like, it's the perfect weather for, like, training.
Yeah.
It's just humid.
Are you up there in the mountains?
No, not so much. It's just the humidity. It's like 90 to like 88 degrees with like 90% to like 85% humidity.
So is it like sparring in a sauna pretty much all day?
Kind of like a sauna, but it's just humid. It's just like you're gonna go. It's like one of those type of places where you take a shower, and once you go outside, you're gonna start sweating. Like it's just like muggy and just you're gonna sweat.
That's how Florida is. Everybody tells me when they go to Florida, they're like, dude, Florida's like that. Hawaii was like that. I recently went to Hawaii and it was like, dude, I was like, are you serious? What is this? Yeah. When was your very first fight? When did you decide to become an MMA fighter, or did you start with boxing or kickboxing first?
So I started boxing first.
Okay.
I was doing amateur boxing, and then I was at that time I was selling mattresses. I was slanging mattresses. I was low key like
the mattress king,
the mattress guy. But I was selling mattresses, and then I was fighting on the side. Well, trying to fight, starting up, and then
amateur, right? You were amateur boxing. Okay.
Yeah, and then I just decided because California didn't have amateur MMA, and I was already dabbling in kickboxing at the time. Training in kickboxing and training in jiu-jitsu. So I wanted to do some like MMA.
And what
fights.
year was this? Because MMA was relatively new when you started training, correct?
No, it was around, but it just wasn't like the amateur scene wasn't there yet. So let's see, that was like 2008.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 2008. Okay. And then so California didn't have like say for instance pros, it's under CSAC, right, which is just like the California State Athletic Commission, and so pros, right, that's that. But amateurs never had a governing body, so it was just kind of like the Wild Wild West when I was starting with smokers. They call them smokers.
And what's a smoker for somebody who doesn't know what?
Yeah, so a smoker is like unsanctioned. Say you have a gym or you have a big warehouse, and you're like, all right, you can rent out my warehouse and you guys could throw fights.
Oh, okay.
But there's no there's no commission involved.
Underground. Whoever wins, that's...
It's just like, you know, it doesn't go on no records or nothing. It's just like...
Like a hard spar.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but then they start cracking down on those. The commission start coming in, and the pro commission will come in and like start fining people. You know what I mean? Yeah, it got real serious. So then... So long story short, there was an amateur... governing body, so there's no like legit amateur fights.
So you just kept boxing?
Yeah, so I was boxing, and then at the time I was just like, you know, I don't know if I should really pursue it or not, or just like so I just said F it, and I started looking up on the computer, finding out where they have sanctioned amateur fighting at.
Where you can actually get it on your record.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the two places I seen was, well, there's a couple other places, but I was like, nah. Las Vegas had a sanctioning body, and then Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Rampage Jackson talks about Kentucky a lot.
Does he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Because he's like from like the Midwest or somewhere over there.
Yeah, he's from like... I thought it was like Tennessee or something.
He's
like that.
from one of those,
like Memphis.
Memphis. Yeah.
So yeah, I said F it and went to Kentucky for a year.
Okay.
I told myself, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go out there.
You moved out there.
Yeah.
I'm doing this full time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Never moved out of Cali. I never went out of Cali like that. Just so moved out there for a year and told myself like I'm gonna fight 10 times and I'm coming back.
Okay.
So literally went out there, got to going, and then in a year, man, I knocked out 10 fights.
Really?
Yeah.
And were they like you were just sparring like, hey, Lorenz, you want to fight this guy? You're like, I don't care, I'm going to fight whoever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Or they were like, hey, this guy's got a 10-0 record.
Nah.
You're 1-3. Da-da-da-da-da. You didn't care who it was, wherever, whenever.
Hey, you can't, there's no way to even get 10 fights in a year with you being picky.
Okay.
It's impossible because
most is 3, right? Like most fighters these days only get like 3 fights a year, correct?
Pros, well, it just all depends, right? If you're on the lower circuit, like I categorize it as like the regional circuit, right? Okay. Which is all the local stuff. If you
like Cage Warriors,
King of the Cage, all those things that come around here, those are like the regional circuits. So for that, I would say like a guy should at least be like 4 fights, 5 fights a year. You know what I mean? Because you're not fighting like top tier. You know, like.
And then you got headgear too, right? And you also got the pads.
Amateur or pro?
Amateur.
Amateur, no. So where I was at, there's no shin guards.
They're just like, yo, we're just gonna throw you in.
Yeah. They didn't have no shin guards, and okay. I'm not sure. Well, out here it was different. So I moved out there, literally within 2 months.
Those 10 fights were done?
No, camo came into play out in California.
What's camo?
That was the amateur sanctioning body.
So finally, when you moved out and you
2
decided,
months later, yep.
They're like, oh, we're gonna sanction California. How did you feel at that time? Were you like, I'm just gonna go home?
It's too late. Nah, it's too late.
You already made this decision. Yeah. So those 10 fights, and they're MMA, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
MMA.
so you went from boxing to MMA, and then you just stuck out to MMA.
Yep.
Okay, so when you hit those 10 fights out, you came back to California. What was your next move then?
I turned pro, and then I think it was I moved back within like, man, I want to say like at least 2 months. 2 months of me moving back, I had like my first pro fight.
And what organization did you fight for? Because you fought for Strikeforce and amongst other companies, right?
Yeah. So this was so now when I'm go pro, now I'm on the regional circuit, right?
Okay.
So there's a guy. His name's Roy Engelbrett.
Okay.
And then he still throws shows actually at the OC Fairgrounds, but he had a show in OC at like I want to say it was like the Hyatt or something like that.
Is it like a fairgrounds or is it like just a venue?
No. So his venue now is at the fairgrounds in the hangar.
Okay.
So you ever been to the OC Fair?
Yeah.
You know how to
Pomona, right? It's actually, or no, that's the LA County Fair.
Yeah.
But the other one, it's like you get the parking lot, and then you go in. You got the 2 hangars.
Yeah. So he throws fights in one of those hangars.
Okay. Kind of like the Nas Event Center, how you got those hangars too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you started fighting with him, and he picked you up.
Yeah. So he had it at a hotel back then, and he does. He's famous for doing hybrid shows. So he'll do. Say if there's 10 fights, it'd be like 5 boxing fights and then 5 MMA fights.
And did he ever do like grappling? Because I know IFS, they would throw in some grappling sometimes, or they'd throw in like strictly Taekwondo.
Yeah. No, this is just straight professional boxing and then professional MMA.
He wanted people to fight. He didn't want to. And watching you fight and watching you come up in all these circuits, did you know that you had good hands, or did you feel like you would work more on boxing than you would on jiu-jitsu per se or kickboxing? Because your kicks are lethal. Your kicks are lethal. And the very first time I met you was at USKO. I think you were with, I don't know who you're training for or what you were training for. And I randomly came in because Joey was like, hey, we're going to have some hard spars this Saturday. And this guy named Lorenz is coming through, and I was like, no, I've been seeing it, you know? And then he came in, and we sparred, and he kicked my butt. It was crazy. And but you were like you were professional with it. Like, you know when you spar with people, they just want to beat you up and brawl you? Like, no, you're like, you know, you're giving me a chance, but you were having fun. And from that moment on, I was like, this guy's going to be probably one of the top fighters. He's going to make it. And I think you were fighting for Strikeforce at the time. I'm not too sure. And then I seen you go from Strikeforce, because you went from the regional circuits, like you said, and then where did you go after that? What was the first major corporation or organization that picked you up? Yeah,
so my first big organization was Strikeforce. So I got signed to Strikeforce. I actually took the fight on a short notice.
Against who?
Well, it was against this guy named Scott Lighty. At the time, he was like a big K1 kickboxing guy, and he was supposed to fight this Japanese fighter, which is a pretty good fighter. His name is Santashi Ishii. But a big tsunami happened.
And where?
In Japan.
Oh, so he couldn't make it.
Yeah, so it was like a big disaster over there, and he couldn't fly over. So then they were scrambling to try to find him a
Is that how he became the Monsoon?
No.
He's like, I made it happen so I could fight.
So, I took that on short notice, and then that's kind of how you get in the big show now. You know what I mean? Like if you get into a UFC, or that's why that saying like stay ready. You know, don't
always be training.
Yeah, because a lot of times fights fall out, and sometimes the guys on their roster, they don't have the guys that are ready.
Okay.
So then they have to get a guy who's on the regional circuit that's good enough, and then they'll be like, all right, look, we'll sign you to a 4-fight deal if you take this fight. And that's kind of like your way in.
But even on those 4-fight deals, they still have the clause to just drop you after any. And that's with any organization, right?
Yeah. I mean, once you start getting up there, you can work contracts different, you know what I mean? But for the most part, if you're just starting out,
just take
what you come in there and you're just getting whooped, like, they're going to drop you. They're going to release you for sure.
Okay. So after Strikeforce, how many fights did you have with Strikeforce?
Ooh.
And what weight class were you at? Because you were at heavyweight, right?
Yeah, so no, not heavyweight. When I was amateur, I was heavyweight.
Okay.
Then when I turned pro, I went to 205.
And what weight class is that?
Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight. Okay.
Light heavyweight. So I was amateur heavyweight. When I turned pro, light heavyweight. And then I was all light heavyweight until I fought in Strikeforce, Robbie Lawler.
Robbie Lawler in Strikeforce. And this is the famous fight that got you on the map, or was there more fights before that? Because I remember that fight, and you knocked him out, right?
No. I beat him, but it was a decisive win, you know. And I think that was a fight that maybe put me where everybody was like, whoa, like who, you know what I mean? Because I was still fighting nobody up there yet.
Who was the biggest name up until then?
Well, I fought. Actually, my first fight in Strikeforce, that guy had a name. His name was Scott Leidy. Okay. And he's done some good things in K1 kickboxing. So
okay, so he was actually the first. Hard. Like, dang, this guy's got a name.
Yeah.
He's up there. It's gonna be a hard one for you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And are your coaches honest with you, or do they just tell you, hey, you can beat the guy no matter what?
No, I mean now at this time, I've been with my coach for so long. It's like the thing I hate to see when I see fights is like when the fighter's down. Say the fighter's down. It was the guy's fighter won the first round, and then the other guy won the second round, and then after the second round they go in the corner and the fighter who lost that round.
His coach is like, "You're winning.
You're winning.
You got
You're
this.
good.
Cruise. Just cruise."
That's like the worst. You know what I mean? Like my coach is gonna be like, "Hey, I don't think you got that round. You know what I mean? Like you need to. This third round, we need it. We need it for sure. So
solidify it.
Oh yeah.
Put the stamp on it that you're the winner. Yeah.
Because it for some guys that you tell them they're winning, they're like, okay, well I got first round and second round, like I'm good as long as I don't get knocked out or submitted. Like I'm good, and then they get to scorecards and they get hurt.
Robbed.
You know what I mean?
They get robbed.
They're just like what? But
you see that a lot lately because me watching a lot of these professional organizations. I go watch the fights, and in my mind, I'm like, oh, I think that was a robbery. And then I go on like social media, and obviously there's millions of comments and people. I'm so would you say you don't like to leave it in the hands of the judges?
No, I don't like to. You know what I mean? But if it does, for the most part, I feel like, like I think every fighter is like, nah, I won. Yeah, like, I won. But I just think when you just have to have that fight IQ too to be like, okay, this is close. I need to make it obvious that like I won this round. You know what I mean? So
I won this fight in general.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because sometimes the round just could be half and half. Yeah, but at the end, if like you knock him down, you're like, oh, more than likely they're gonna give it to the person who knocked him down. If you get like, because I've noticed that in a lot of MMA, takedowns are really significant. And some of your fights, I think it was one of your recent fights, correct? And you were trying, bro. You were trying to get off, and he just kept taking you down and kept taking you down.
Yeah.
What do you feel at those moments when you're just trying to work and it just doesn't work? Like,
yeah, I think for those type of situations, it's just like it gets frustrating because
you can't fight.
People will be like, they see a fight like that and I'm like, oh, why don't you just get up? But yeah.
Let me just get
up. Just get up. But it's like, when you got a guy who's just trying to hold you, it's hard. You know what I mean? It's like, it's better when the guy's trying to punch you. Yes. Then you have a space and opportunity and you can work some stuff. But like it's hard. Yeah. Just and for the people out there, have your boy just grab their hands behind you and just try to hold on. Try to hold on for 20 seconds, and then you just get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be hard as hell because you're going to be like, dude, he's just holding me. Like,
he's
holding me as tight as he can, and he's not trying to let go. He's not trying to trip me. He's just holding me. So
that's crazy because you feel like a lot of these people they use their own way, or like, because like you said, it's really hard to get up.
Yeah.
Like when I was training, I guess you could say, I hated jiu-jitsu days. I hated wrestling days. I'm like, I'm gonna just go home. I'm gonna just come when you guys are sparring on Muay Thai for those same exact reasons, because in my mind I am thinking like, I want to get up, but it's easier said than done.
Yeah. No, I don't mind it. Like I love jiu-jitsu and I like wrestling too. It's just when I'm wrestling, I'm taking somebody down and I'm punching them. I'm grinding them out. I'm punching them. I'm always with the intentions of finishing. You know what I mean? Not just, hey, I held on for
I had
5 minutes.
I had the top position, so I won.
Yeah, I was just holding you.
Yeah.
Even though you were trying to get up and you're punching me and you're elbowing me, whatever, but I just held you. So
who would you say has hit you the hardest, if you don't mind letting that information out? Because you've been
hardest?
How many fights have you been in? Just your whole. What's your record right now? As of right now.
Oh, dude, I don't even.
You're like almost like 30 fights, correct?
I think I'm. Damn, dude. Is that bad? I don't even know.
No, it's not, because you fight so much, and that's good. Most people are like, oh, I'm this and that, you know?
I'm probably like 24 and... Like 24, maybe 24 and 7.
Okay.
Something like that.
And out of all those fights, who has hit you the hardest? Where you're like, what the... Where you just like felt like a truck hit you?
I would say... I'm not sure, man. Because, I mean... I've had losses where I got flashed, knocked out, but it's not like painful, you know what I mean? You're just like, luckily, I don't know how to say it would.
No.
But I've never just been like straight slept to where I wake up and I'm like, what happened?
Style?
Yeah. I've always just, what I mean by flash is just like, and you're like, oh shit. And it's over, you're like, fuck, but you're good. Like, you could stand up, you could talk, and
you give your respect.
You're just like, damn, like it was just like a little flash. But I say the weirdest probably hit I've got was probably Robbie.
Really?
He hit me in a spot where, have you ever seen like somebody get head kicked? But it doesn't land straight on. It just nicks.
It barely hits the top of your temple,
they get all like yeah. So it was like the beginning of the fight, and he was southpaw, and he went southpaw, and I was orthodox, and then he threw a check hook, and it just like hit back here somewhere.
Grazed you barely, huh?
And I still remember to this day. I seen him. It was normal. I heard the crowd. You know what I mean? And I was just like, and he went to move, and I just like, I was thinking in my head like, "Oh, move out of the way."
Shit, sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No, it's funny. It's funny. And I was like, my head was like, "Oh, get out of the way," and I just couldn't move.
Your body didn't move, huh?
Yeah, I was just like, "Ugh," and my leg got all. My boy Jesse, he always says, "I was like, yeah." That fight, dude, you were fucking Sub-Zero. Remember that old school slide? Or the fucking throw it on the ground and he slides towards you?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what my legs did. I was like, oh, and I'm trying to move and I'm like, damn. So, but yeah, I regained my shit back and then I end up
winning the fight.
Yeah. But that was a weird one, because everything was normal, but my legs weren't working.
Out of all your fights that you've won or lost, who would you want to run it back with just because it was like you're like, man, I'd always want to run it back with them? Because you've run it back with a few people twice, correct?
One.
Oh, one, and that's Korshkov.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably him, man, but low key, I don't think he would take the fight again. Because I beat him when we were at Pechanga. Mm-hmm. Then we fought in Japan. Mm-hmm. And so I beat him in Pechanga. It was a split. And then, if you guys haven't watched that fight, it's a good fight with me and Korshkov. And then we ran it back.
This is the first fight.
The first fight,
yeah. I was there. I remember. I was like, oh. Yeah, it was a good fight. It was amazing.
Then we ran it back in Japan. And then he won split decision. And so, yeah, I would want to just like finish that
trilogy, I guess you could say, because you guys are 1-1. And I think about that too because I remember your very first fight in Bellator after you went from UFC to Bellator. Mm-hmm. It was at the Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
Right. So, can you speak on that? Like, how was the transition from UFC to Bellator? Were you just weighing out your options? Was it just a better move for you personally?
Yeah, it was just a better move for me. As far as like. My thing is, at the end of the day, I'm big on respect and knowing that people value your worth.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And also when this is like advice to like fighters coming up, and
that was actually one of my questions is what your advice is.
So it's like because this whole fight game is, to me, is, how the fight game works is you're going to get signed to contracts. Mm-hmm. So X amount of fights for the contract. So I say, hey, Lyfe, we want you at UFC we're gonna sign you to a 4-fight deal.
Okay.
You know, and on this deal, we're gonna give you, say back when they were, I think they're a little bit above this now, but at the time they're probably like 10-10.
10 to show and 10 to win.
Exactly.
10K.
Yeah. 10,000.
Wow. Okay.
But it's changed now. I think
because this was back in 2000. What, like 10, 2020? 2020.
No. I think they're probably at like 2000. Maybe no, dude.
It was like 2012, right?
Yeah, I was like maybe like 14.
Okay, who was still fighting in UFC when you barely made your way in? Was Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell? No, they were already out.
They're gone.
Yeah. Okay.
They were just like McGregor was getting on the scene.
Okay.
And UFC, and then Masvidal, you know, Diaz. Yeah, it was a lot of the people now, the bigger names now, but just like they weren't not as big as names as they are right now.
Yeah. So you were speaking about to the younger generation. You were saying that about the contracts, right?
Yeah. So that's pretty much how it works, right? 4-fight deal. We're gonna get you on 10-10.
The whole way?
No. So 10-10 your first fight, and then say you win.
Okay.
Then we're gonna give you a, just be simple. Let's say $2,000 bump on both sides.
So now you're getting 12 and 12.
Yeah. Okay. So now it gives you 12 and 12, and then you get 14 and 14, and so on. But if you don't win, you're gonna stay. You know, you stay there
at the 10. At the very least, you're gonna get 10 to lose.
Yeah.
Cool.
So the whole name of the game, in my eyes, is like you fight as much as you can. Mm-hmm. You get these because if you're fighting good, you're never gonna get to your 4th fight.
Yeah,
they're gonna
that contract's over.
Exactly, they're gonna re-sign you after your 3rd fight.
Okay.
So you're gonna fight your 3rd fight, and then your next fight is gonna be your first fight on your new contract.
And you're getting that better pay. So now instead of 10 and 10, now they're giving you 50 and 50.
Exactly.
Or 80 and 80.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how you work your way up.
Okay.
To your contracts, you know. So that's the name of the game, is getting these fights out of the way, getting another contract, building up, you know, winning, getting a better contract, and it's.
And back then, when you started in UFC, you were able to have sponsors, right? You were able to have sponsors on the shorts and everything still, or?
Yeah, so part of my...
Okay.
Towards the end, that's when Reebok came in. But, see, the thing that saved me was, because the whole deal with Reebok was, it was a tier system.
Okay.
So if you had 1, 2, 3 fights in the UFC, you got X amount.
Okay.
From Reebok. And then if you had from 4 to whatever, you got this amount.
Of course.
And then from, say, 8 to whatever, you got this much. So my first fight in the Strikeforce was the big takeover when UFC bought Strikeforce.
They bought the whole everything, right? Because they bought Strikeforce, they bought, what was WC?
Pride. Yeah, well, they own WC.
Oh, okay.
I think they own that from the get-go, yeah.
So they were already part of that the whole time?
Yeah, so WEC was just the organization for their smaller weight classes.
Jose Aldo and Uriah Faber.
Yeah, because they didn't have it in the UFC.
Okay.
And then they brung all over those weight classes to the UFC, and then they just axed out that. Yeah. But with Strikeforce, they bought it, and then so my first fight in Strikeforce was under the Zuffa banner, which was at the time who owned UFC.
Of course.
And so all those fights in Strikeforce counted
as UFC fight or as Zuffa.
Zuffa, yeah. So then that's what helped me out. You know, by the time I got into UFC and then had my fights, and once this Reebok deal came, I had all my fights that I was like, okay, well, I don't got to start at the first, the first little tier. Mm-hmm. I'm good over here. So still sucked because, the people were still getting gypped, but it was better than guys that had like 2 fights. Yeah, bro. It was like, I think it was like 22, it was like 2,000 or like $2,500.
Were you on like a Francis Ngannou type of contract feel, meaning like you had 1 fight left? Because your last fight in the UFC, you beat Neil Magny, right?
Yeah.
And that was by knockout?
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, all over the social medias, you see Lorenz Larkin. I think were you let go or were you just
no? So
what happened? If you don't mind speaking on that.
No, I don't mind. No hard feelings.
Yeah, no, because you know how it is.
Yeah, no, it's all good. No, so like I was saying, you know, I'm just big on respect. You know what I mean? And I think fighters should know his worth and know what's out there. So at the time, they offered me the fight. It was a short notice fight, and I knew I already fought my third time, and this is my fourth fight. So I was just like talking to my management, like, okay, like they offered the fight, but
did they offer anything else?
They didn't offer a deal. So they're like, no, they didn't offer a deal. So I was just like, hold on. So they're not going to resign. They're just going to let me fight this fight, and then
they probably thought you were going to lose,
and then we'll go from there. Oh no, exactly.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay. My thing is like I'm big on like betting on myself. Like I'll bet on myself all day.
Yes.
Especially that like I'm petty as shit.
Man, when you bet against me or when you like not become my enemy because it's not necessarily an enemy, but when you're like, I don't know, I shine. Under pressure, I love it. I'm the best under pressure. Yeah.
So so that's how I took it. I was just like,
make a statement.
So they're just they want to give me, and at the time, you know, I wasn't even in the top 10. I don't know where I was ranked, but they gave me like a number 6 guy.
Neil Magny.
Yeah, so I was just like, and he was on like a hot streak, so I was just like,
that was before his losses started.
Yeah,
he was about to get the championship. I think that fight, if he would have won, they were saying he was supposed to get a championship shot.
Okay, so then when they offered me a fight, I was just like, oh, they're gonna give me my last fight and a number 6 guy, so they're just like, fuck me. Yeah. I don't know if I cuss on here.
No, you can cuss it up. Yeah, no, he's like, fuck this motherfucker.
All right.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, like, fuck it, I'll take the fight. I'll take it. And I think it was, I'm not sure how, maybe it was like 3 week notice type fight.
It was really quick. You didn't even have a full camp.
No.
Yeah, but you were ready, right? Because you said,
no, for sure.
You gotta stay ready.
Yeah, so I took the fight, and I was just like, all right, cool. So that was actually the McGregor Diaz 2.
You fought on a McGregor card.
Yeah, I fought on 2
McGregor cards. Yeah, Which one was the first one?
Boston. He fought.
Was that
Dennis Seaver?
Seaver. Okay. Was he the main?
Yeah. So it was him and McGregor.
Night?
Yeah, fight night.
Okay.
So so it was on that card. We fought, and it was funny the whole week, bro. I was just like, okay, like
the media was coming at you, bro. The questions were like, it was like, oh, do you think this and that? Do you not? And I'm at home like, oh, this fools are coming at the homie. I'm gonna have to show up. Like these fools coming at the homie again, you know?
Yeah. No, it was good, man. It was like, it was almost low key. Like I was just like, I know some that nobody else fucking knows, you know? And so I was just like, okay, like, because Neil's cool now, you know.
Yeah, you guys are cool.
Yeah, we actually follow each other and shit. So,
shout out to Neil Magny.
Yeah. But at the time, him and his team, they had this look like
this chip on their shoulder.
We're gonna fuck you up. You know what I mean? It's all love, but we're gonna fuck you up, and you know you'll go on your way. And, you know,
this is your exit.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see you later somewhere else.
That's
but
exactly
sorry.
how it was.
Yeah.
So it was funny, you know. The whole week I was just like, okay, like this is gonna be a big fucking upset.
Did you at the press conferences? You guys did a press conference, right?
Yeah, I think. Or
like with the media individually.
Yeah.
And did you guys run into each other like the hotels? Like how was it like you said the whole week?
Yeah, you know, we're with the whole fight week with fights, you always run into each other because you're just staying at a hotel.
And do they purposely put you guys in the same hotel, or do you think that's
no, that's how it goes.
Or do you guys book your own hotels?
No. They all set all the fighters. So if you guys don't know,
okay,
when a fight happens, even now, say whatever UFC fight, whatever other fight, all the fighters at one hotel. It's always like that.
And why is that? Is that because they have to do the weigh-ins there? They're working out there. They make the accommodations there, all at one hotel.
Yep.
Okay.
So they either have they do all the media there. Obviously the rooms are booked there. Shuttling. I think they just make it easier. now that, you know, I have some skin in the game and you know, and contracts are looking better now, when I fight, I just get an Airbnb for
You're
me
like,
and my
hey,
team.
I'm gonna choose my shit.
Yeah. Because it's like,
more peace of mind?
Think of, it's not peace of mind, but it's just like, you gotta think of it like, to me, I don't look at it as like, sport, like, or how could I say, not sport, but like a martial art, right? We're just like, oh, we're respectable martial artists. Like,
what is that? What does Yuri say? Ninja style or samurai style?
Yeah, so I just look at it like, it's all business. I'm coming in on this day to fuck you up.
Yeah, I'm gonna
you know what I mean?
And I don't want to see you, because if I do, the more I see you, the more I'm gonna get pissed off.
Yeah, it's not that I just get pissed off, but it's just tense. You know what I mean? And everything is like, it's just so tense. You know what I mean? You just think of
you don't want to see somebody you better fight.
Think of a fucking hotel with all these fucking fighters, all this testosterone, and they're just walking around and they're just like, it gets old after a while. You're just like, come on, bro. Like, relax.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not that serious. We're getting paid to fight this day. Save it till then.
Yeah. So it's just, you're around that shit, dude. And then,
so you do Airbnbs now. You prefer.
Yeah.
And at your Airbnb, are you cutting weight? Are you eating all that stuff there? Sleeping, resting?
Oh, yeah.
When do you actually go to the venue to start to start warming up and fighting? Are you there watching the beginning fights? Are you just resting? So
they have like different times that you'll get shuttled over. So say you're on the main card, right? Okay. And then the beginning of the fight started at like 2:00. Okay. And the main card starts at like 7, and you're the first fight on the main card, so you're probably gonna get shuttled over like 5.
Oh, okay. So they have it. It's all organized. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can't say everybody, but when you get to the bigger shows, that is like itinerary.
It's like that.
Yeah.
They're on point.
Be downstairs at this time. The shuttle will be here. It's gonna take you here. Once you get off the shuttle, you got a guide. It's gonna take you.
Okay.
Oh,
So it's all organized, like you already know it, and it's like riding a bike. You just get on and go. Mm-hmm. Okay. So who is on your MMA Mount Rushmore? Who would you say are your top 5 MMA fighters? Like who are people that you look up to, and people that you kind of would like say are your top 5 MMA on your Mount Rushmore?
I'm gonna say. I only got 3, man.
Only 3? Okay. Well, who would be your 3?
It's gonna be Jon Jones.
Hell yeah.
Demetrius Johnson.
Man,
and Anderson.
Anderson.
Yeah. Anderson Silva.
That's dope.
And I say it because, let me think. Yeah, that's it. And then I say that because you're talking about MMA, right?
Yeah, MMA. Okay. Strictly MMA. Yeah. Strictly MMA.
I say that because it's like, you can't just go off of like a good, like, how can I say, like, if people say like, oh, what about Khabib, you know, blah, blah, blah.
A good run, I guess you could say.
GSP, you know, I look at things like, GSP to me never really stood out. You know what I mean? And like Khabib,
he was like Khabib. My brother's favorite fighter is Khabib and GSP, and I was like, my favorite fighter was Jose Aldo. Yeah, and like people like Charles Oliveira, people like that.
So when I'm looking at a fighter, I'm like, what's special about him? Like when you look at him, you're like, this guy ain't like nobody else.
And that's definitely Jon Jones.
Yeah, so it's like, you got to look at those type of things. Like, I look at it like, they're too creative and in their prime. Jon Jones is still good, but I'm saying like Anderson, right?
Yeah.
In his prime, who was doing stuff like that? You know what I mean? Like, who was finishing fights and finding ways to make exciting knockouts like he was? You know what I mean? It's like
the Chael Sonnen Part 2 fight was probably my all-time greatest fight with Anderson, because like you said, he was like kind of like you in the instance. Everybody was doubting him, thinking this, that, and the other, and he just went, just kneed him right in the chest. It was by far one of my favorite MMA fighters.
Damn, dude.
Mighty Mouse when he did the flying armbar, and I've never ever like when you say special and you say Mighty Mouse. It wasn't only just that moment, but it was every time he stepped in that ring, and everybody never gave him the respect. So I love Mighty Mouse. He's one of my favorites, and Jon Jones, obviously, for everything he's doing. And okay, so that would be your Mount Rushmore. That would be
no, definitely. Yeah,
okay. Would you ever box like a Logan Paul, or like when it comes to these celebrity boxings? Where do you feel and where do you stand on that? Would you ever do something like that if the bag, quote unquote, is right, or you're just like, nah, I don't care how much because you value this?
I mean, at the end of the day, this is a business, right?
Yes,
and it's like. Obviously I do it for the money, you know. If it was free,
you're a prize fighter.
Yeah. So, I mean, if the money is right, I would do it. But it's like, it's just hard to watch sometimes, man. It's just like, it's just like the guys they pick, you know. And it's just
Dylan
like
Dennis versus Logan Paul was like the cringiest. It was like, whoa, bro.
And it's just like, if they want to do it, like, pick a guy who can fight. Mm-hmm. You know, like you're gonna pick Anderson Silva, which is I don't even know how old he is right now.
Yeah, he's almost 50. I think he is 50. He might be 50.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, or even Tyson.
Yeah.
I get it. He's Tyson, but he's fucking
Tyson
50, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So you're like, you're good on that, unless the money's right.
Yeah, if the money was right, you know what I mean? But I'm just like, if you want to do it for real, like, pick some motherfuckers who can really fight, you know, like, and that's not over their prime and all that, because it's not like he's old, and obviously he's athletic because, you know, but it's just like the guys that they're picking and trying to grab all this clout, just social media right now, the celebrity
boxing is out of hand.
Bro.
Yeah.
It's just like stupid. You don't see me trying to be like, I want to get in the fucking, let me play in the NFL game.
Yeah.
Fuck no. You know what the fuck would happen?
Michael Jordan playing baseball, that's what would happen?
Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I just look at it like, if you really want to dip your toe in, then dip it in all the way.
Get your bag if that's for you. Yeah.
But fight somebody that's really gonna bring it to you. You know what I mean? And then test yourself and be like, hey, if you lost, then you lost against a real motherfucker, not a guy who's had a great career and now is past his prime, and then you beat him. Like, cool. And then, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No, I feel you. I'm the same. Like, when I thought the Anderson fight, he kind of like got shown up right then and there, and I'm glad he lost against what's his name, Fury's brother. What's his name?
Tommy, right?
Tommy Fury. Yeah. I know we're coming up towards the end right here, and I have just a couple more questions. But if you were to run into Dana White today, what would you say to him? Just like, would you just be like, hey, what's up? Or would
I'll tell him what's up. You know, like, real shit. I've never had like a bad situation with him. Like, it's weird because I've literally ran into him when I've been out in Vegas, like when I was fighting for the UFC, and
because you still go to UFC events, correct?
No, I haven't been one in a while, but I remember just randomly, me and my buddies were out in Vegas, and it was for the UFC Fan Expo. Okay, I think that's what it was. And I was just randomly in a club, I think, and he had a big ass table, and I just like walked by, and I was like, "What's up, man?" Just you know, and like not
just not
fan out shit, just like, "Hey, what up?" Yeah. And he was like, he fucking told the security. He's like, who you here with? You know, and he just come on and party. I was just like, fuck, what? He's always been like, I've never had a bad situation with him. Yeah.
So you've already ran into him and said what's up to him.
Oh yeah. So it'd be cool. Yeah. It's always love.
Now this is my last question, and he kind of touched on it earlier. If you could give all these up and coming fighters any piece of advice that you wish somebody would have told you at the very start of your career, what would that be?
All right, I'll try not to be too long.
No, it's okay. Yeah, take your time.
I would say with these fighters these days, man, is like the era is there's a lot of pussies in this era, bro, and it's
a lot of Ian Garys everywhere.
So it's like I got into this game because younger, we were partying, and I would get into fights, and I like that feeling, right? But I like, it was weird because I wasn't looking for it. But me being like just low key and not talking, and my people I'm around yapping, you know what I mean? And when shit happens, I would get like
they call you.
They call me.
Lorenz is the fighter.
No. But I wasn't even the fighter. You know what I mean? They're just like, the other people would be like, "No, fuck you, mother." You know, and I'm like,
they call you out.
I'm like, I'm not even saying shit. But I'm like, I'm always hardwired. Like, okay, then fuck it, let's fight. Yeah. Like, there's nothing that's gonna stop this now because we already got here.
You went there.
So we're gonna fight. After we fight, we're good. Like, I'll help you up, everything, but we have to fight now. Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to get too much sidetracked. Yeah. But my thing when I started fighting, I was just fighting. I was just fucking fighting.
No reason to fight. You was just fighting.
No. I'm just saying, like, now when I took it, now I'm in the sport, right? I'm just like, just let's fight. This is what I'm here for. This is what I'm trying to do.
Don't matter who.
Yeah.
Don't matter where. Don't matter when.
This is what I'm trying to do, and I really want to make it in this. So I'm like, why would I ever say no to you? Even if I say no to you in the regional, right? We fight. Eventually, we're gonna meet again. Especially if you are good and I'm good,
and we're gonna see each other eventually.
We're gonna see each other. So
just get out the way.
Fucking fight. You know what I mean? So, so to backtrack, a lot of these guys want gimme fights. You know what I mean? Which, in the beginning, it's okay. It's a part of the game.
Get your ego up.
It's a part of the game.
Boost your confidence.
Exactly. Get your experience. But when it's time to fight, as long as you guys got the same record, who cares? Like, fight.
Yeah, because you guys are here. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like the better man win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I get it. If you're 2-0 and they want me to fight you and you're 8-0, no, it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah.
But if we're in the same around record, don't turn nothing down. You know what I mean? It's like,
even if he's doing jiu-jitsu and you're a kickboxer, take that fight. You might,
because mentally in this game, man, is like, that's everything. I tell all the guys that I train with, even the up and comers coming up, I'm like, look, I don't care what anybody tells you. This is more mental than physical. Like, if you can't handle this shit mentally and don't have a good aspect of being like, nah, like, we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
Like, there's none that's gonna you know what I mean? You have to have that mind frame because you'll get broke.
Yeah.
Like,
you'll break during cutting weight.
Yeah.
If you break
that's a whole nother.
We'll be on next episode for that one.
Yeah. But that's all I would say. You know, if you're really trying to progress in this game, then fight. Don't be
no pick me fights.
Yeah, you know what I mean? In the beginning it's all good, but if you're trying to get to the top, you just gotta fight.
Yes.
Because it doesn't matter, because when you do make it to the big show, there ain't no like
Tell Dana what I know.
Hey, Lyfe, we want you to fight, and you're like, nah. Because guess what happens? They say, okay, no problem. Your shelf for it's always a rotation, right? So
when it comes
if
to your
you
card,
say no, they'll say okay, and they'll skip you, and now you got to wait until that rotation comes back again. You know what I mean? Then so think about it. You fight 2 times a year, 3 times a year, and that's saying yes to every fight. Yeah. You say no, they'll be like, okay.
They might even not ask you.
They want to ask you.
Yeah, they wait for you to ask them, like,
yeah.
So the younger generation, that's your best advice, is just fight.
Yeah. Don't be pussies.
Oh, yeah. And is there anybody you'd like to give a shout out to? Your coaches, your fellow fighters, the people helping you train, your organization, and when is your next fight actually before?
Yeah, so it's on PFL. It's going to be on ESPN Plus, and I think the card starts 6 p.m. Eastern. So it's 3 p.m. Okay. 3 p.m. out here. It'll start.
Okay.
In Pacific Standard Time. And just my team, Millennium MMA, and the Riv. That's I always
hometown
that's
Riverside.
Always.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Mm-hmm. So once again, man. My name's MC Lyfe. We have special guest
Lorenz Larkin,
The Monsoon. Watch the fight. Tune in. You can catch him on Instagram at
DA_Monsoon.
And we'll make sure to put it up right here too. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're about to hit 50,000 subscribers on the channel. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe. And let me know who you want to see on the next episode. And also, thank you to everybody who came out to Mortal Technique Show. We sold out Riverside in 1 week. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Oh, what a right hand buys him off.
That was a clubbing forearm. You're right.
Sure. Right by Larkin. Mamma mia. One hitter quitter.
Any names in mind?
Nope. I never have a name in mind. You know, it's my thing is Bellator calls me, they give me a name, I text back or say yes. That's the end of it. I don't need to call nobody out. I fought the best of the best. I'm not scared of nobody. I just take the fights. I don't need to do all the talking, all the call outs. At the end of the day, I'm just put my head down, I grind it out, and I keep showing up. That's all I do. Lace these boots and go to work. I don't need to do all the other that comes along with it.